Thank you for your time. I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, man.
First I wanted to ask you, your first contact with Lee Hall's script. This was a film that I guess, David and Elton had been wanting to make for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matthew Vaughn helped put it together. But what was your first contact with just how much of a fantasia it really is?
The first time I read it probably would have been 2016. And I so wanted it to be brilliant because the idea of playing him was so thrilling. And I knew it was a musical. And I knew it was quite bold. But I didn't know a great deal about it other than that, and I read it and I was so pleased because as a filmmaker and an actor, the idea of telling a story in a way that feels something other than conventional is really exhilarating and it's really thrilling, and I felt that about Rocket Man. I felt that it was stylistically interesting and elevated, but still had this, it still retained a truth, and the truth of Elton's experience and the spirit of who Elton is, and I loved that about it. I thought it was theatrical in the true sense of the word, and fantastical and very moving.
You talked about meeting with Elton and him, sort of reaching across to you and giving you the first diamond earring that he bought. What about that experience, if anything, met your expectations? What exceeded it? Just how differently did it go, I guess, based on what you thought?
You mean meeting him?
Meeting him for the first time, and how long that discussion was?
The first time it was later that he gave me the diamond earring. But the first times I've met him, it's very weird to meet someone that the whole world is interested in and have them be interested in you. That's a really discombobulating thing, and that was the case with Elton. He's very, very, very excited by creative people. And very interested in other creative people, His awareness of new music is really, really staggering, and that's the case with all artistic pursuits, whether it be photography or film or painting or whatever, He's exceeded my expectations in every way, in absolutely every way, and I think part and parcel of that is how refreshing his candidness and his openness is, and that quality, that specific quality in him is reflected in our movie, and how brave I feel it is.
Which of these musical numbers, they span a lot of time, some advance the plot very radically, some involve hundreds of extras. Which was the most challenging for you in terms of the choreography and the performance?
I think Rocket Man is possibly the most ambitious because it spans a number of locations. It employs the skill sets of many different specialists in terms of choreography, in terms of dancers, in terms of music, sound design, costume. And I find the crystallized culmination of all of those people's work, which is the title track of our movie, I find it quite moving, actually.
Gotcha.